Alright, this is Shankums. Gonna make this video basically because I'm just bored. Sunday, not doing anything. But Friday, um, Evil Dead came out, and they had commercials all over the place and everything. And I'm a big horror fan. I'm a big fan of all of them, like the old ones, Evil Dead 2, and Army of Darkness. I think they're all really good horror movies considering the budgets that they had. They're pretty funny. A lot of people consider the first one to be kind of funny, but when I was a kid, I actually found that to be a pretty scary, pretty intense movie. But Evil Dead 2 was like amazing. It combined the comedy aspect with really kind of shocking, intense moments. Girl's got a chainsaw and her head's chopped off and she's like chainsawing herself down the middle and blood squirting everywhere. It's crazy. So, I went to go see it, and I did have a prediction about it. Um, when it was announced that they were gonna remake Evil Dead, I was like, no, they're gonna fuck this up. It's gonna suck. Why'd they have to do that? Because most of the horror movies they remake nowadays are pretty bad. A Nightmare on Elm Street was that was awful. And this is just my opinion. I don't care if people say it's like I'm like retarded or whatever. It's just my opinion. I don't make these videos for people to like. I just get my opinion out there. And so I go into Evil Dead. It was what? It's all like 2:30 or something on Friday. The theater, there was like no one in there. I think it was me and maybe 5 other people at the time, and it has a pretty good start to it, and I actually thought it was going to be pretty good because all the critics are going nuts over it. Well, most of them are giving it a good review and everything, saying this is really scary movie, they did a good job on it, blah blah blah. So I watch it, and by the end of the movie, I'm just like, really, all this hype for that. I thought it was a big letdown, at least for me. Um, the one of the good things about the original was combining that comedy with the horror, the blood squirting everywhere, all the gore and everything. This one's it's takes itself, I think, too seriously. Um, that's what the originals. I mean, people say they took them seriously, but they had fun with it. It looked like this one. It was like they were trying to make it as scary as they could, and they just completely failed. Um, I thought the 3 things that I didn't like about it: the characters were way underdeveloped. You don't really get to know them that well. They just show up at a cabin. You have no idea what they're doing. It doesn't explain anything. The first one doesn't really explain anything either, but the characters, like, they were a lot better in the first one. The remake, I don't like the characters at all. They're really dumb. I don't like any of them. Except maybe for the guy with the glasses, but he was a complete idiot and caused everything to happen and have everyone killed. But, yeah, I think the characters pretty much sucked. The acting was pretty awful. The acting was a joke. Um, the story wasn't that great, and like I said, the comedy aspect wasn't there. It wasn't as fun as the originals. The originals, I watched them to have fun. Like, I have fun watching those movies. I laugh, and then it gets all intense. You're like, oh shit, like chicks running around with a chainsaw, like chopping herself in half and shit. This one they did a good job with the gore aspects. It was bloody as shit. I don't know how they got an R rating on this, because towards the end there's blood like literally everywhere. It's flying in every direction, like 50 million gallons of blood. A girl's just got a chainsaw, like just mowing this girl in half, like zzz, and was blood everywhere. It was good, and I like that they use practical effects instead of CGI all the time, because that gets pretty it's overused. Gets pretty boring. CGI isn't as great as practical effects, because I think practical effects look a lot better than CGI. So they did do good on that. The gore and everything was top notch, and I don't know how they got an R rating. Honestly, that's so much blood, so much blood, it's like a million calories. But yeah, I mean, after seeing it, I was really disappointed. I just shook my head. I'm like, why does Hollywood have to remake all these old classic horror movies? Because I only like two of the remakes, which was Halloween and Friday the 13th. I think they did a pretty good job on those. But for the most part, I would say Evil Dead is an okay to pretty bad movie, at least in my opinion. Um, I just hope they don't do any more Evil Deads, or they don't remake any more of these classic movies, because once they do, they just fuck them up, and they kind of tarnish the reputation that the movie had, at least in my opinion. But out of 5 stars, I'd give Evil Dead a 2.5. It's just not that great. Honestly, the previews that I saw looked much better than Evil Dead. What did I see? The Purge, that looks really cool, and The Conjuring, that looks good too. But I don't know. Modern horror movies just aren't that great. I'd say one of my favorite modern ones is The Collector. That's a fucked up movie, but it's pretty good. So just wanted to get my opinion out there, comment, whatever. I don't care if you're saying I'm retarded for giving this movie a bad review when everyone's like in love with it. But from the people I've talked to, all my friends who saw it, they thought it was pretty terrible, and so did I. And that's coming from a big horror fan. So, peace.